Guys, just to let you know, Palestinian main problem is not poverty, and was never poverty. Palestine was one of the most advanced and rich countries in the whole area here before of the occupation. Yeah, now some people would say, it wasn't called a country. For me it was. It was called the General Government of Palestine, Hukumat Umum Palestine. We had a passport at that time at least. Yeah, it was a British passport, but it's written Palestine, Palestine. Okay, so it was the place where more than 60,000 workers would come every year from the Gulf countries to work in, because we had much more business and jobs than workforce. Our kids, our sons, our daughters used to go and go to other countries, study and come back. So we didn't have enough workforce. Okay, we had 4 airports in Palestine. We had Al-Lud airport, which was occupied by the Israelis and converted into Ben Gurion. We had Jerusalem airport, which is today Qalandia checkpoint. We had Jenin airport, which is a vegetables crops airport and seeding area. Okay, we had a train that moves all the way from Egypt to Turkey, going through Palestine. The whole area didn't have any other trains at that time. Okay, Palestine was a very advanced place. We had a lot of culture, a lot of industry and economy going on. What happened? Occupation happened. Okay. After that, people moved in. We're under occupation. We confiscated all what we had, and we did not have the chance to continue and to live properly. So everybody became a refugee, lost everything. If you did not lose that, if you did not become a refugee, you still kept your wealth. Okay? And wealth is inherited. It goes through the generations as well, not just refugee status. Also wealth, or the money could go through the generations. That's why the people you see with fancy cars are 2 types. People who inherited, and people like me who bought it on the bank. My car is owned by the bank for the next 5 years.
Okay, yeah.
So I have to be paying the bank 2,000 shekels a month until I'm done. Okay, so why? Because I needed it. Other people could afford it. I didn't. I couldn't afford it. And if I didn't do the work I'm doing, I wouldn't be able to afford such a car.
Israel's
And it's like I'm kind of renting it.
biblical anime, long time
guys,
anime.
Now,
was
we're standing here next to the
Philistines.
wall, as I told you before.
Same root word,
810
same
kilometers
people
long
really
wall
as
that is going through all
Palestine.
these Palestinian cities and
Same
villages. You can see all of these
conflict.
graffiti artworks. Some of the first graffiti artists who came to Palestine was Banksy. He's not the first, but he was one of the first. He came to Palestine many times, as I told you before. I told you about the first, second, and third. The 4th time was the most dangerous. Why? Banksy decided he's going to go to Gaza. He went illegally through the tunnels from Egypt to Gaza Strip, left 4 graffiti artworks and a sarcastic documentary promoting tourism in Gaza. Saying, well, this is my destination for vacation this year. Where's yours? Kind of provoking people to learn and know more about what is going on, what is happening in this part of the world. 5th time Banksy came to Palestine, he made the hotel that you just saw.
So he owns it.
Sorry?
He owns it.
Banksy does not own it officially. He made it, he built it. It has a Palestinian manager. Okay, so who owns it?
No one knows.
Other people telling me that this is a machine, a water machine gun. Okay, so it could be either or both.
Okay.
Now, according to the Israeli website about their guns, they have 2 different types of guns. One is for skunk water, which shoots dirty water mixed with chemicals and all of that, sewage water.
This is
And they
a
have the
gate,
sniper machine gun, which is the same type. It
I
looks
guess,
the same exactly.
from the original
Basically,
older refugee camp,
Shoots and kills
but I
from
think it is
1,500 meters,
no longer used as a
360
camp
degrees,
in there,
based on
but it
facial
was
recognition
originally.
technology. That's
And
what
now
you can
I
see
guess
the
they've
camera
moved out
connected to the
into
machine
another
gun.
area.
What is Rachel's tomb? Anybody knows?
Where Rachel was buried.
Where Rachel was buried.
No?
Who was Rachel?
Rachel is the wife of Jacob, who died, according to the biblical story, in the entrance of Bethlehem. Okay. Now, what is that? That is a 500 years old mosque that was built in the Ottoman time. Okay. right next to this cemetery, right next to this graveyard, to worship one last time before the people were buried. Okay, the Israelis. Okay.
The Israeli.
So you can't like take pictures of the children because they're scared to death.
The wall again,
Because
which
if
is
there's
right
a
across the road from the refugee camp. Now, one of you asked me when was the wall built, and I told you the wall is a long story. Okay, why? First walls were built around refugee camps back in the 60s in the second occupation. When Israel came and occupied the rest of Palestine, they looked at the Palestinian refugee camps as a threat. And that's why they basically surrounded these refugee camps with fences, walls, concrete barrels, and barbed wire. They enclosed these checkpoints with these walls around the refugee camps with checkpoints. Checkpoints that were open on the daytime, 7 in the morning till 7 in the evening. Which means if you were in or out outside these hours, you're stuck. So you can imagine how many people died of heart attacks and fatal diseases at night because they were not allowed to cross the checkpoint to go to the hospital. You're a mother, you know how hard it is to give birth. Oh, imagine yourself being forced to deliver your baby at the checkpoint, which was happened to a lot of women in Palestine. Okay?
It was a ghetto, actually.
Exactly.
so you can't
They
take
converted
pictures
the
of
refugee
children
camps
because
into
the
ghettos.
children are
Like
afraid
teachers, like
that
students.
the police
Alright,
will
guys?
use the
So
pictures
basically,
and come
these
arrest
refugee
them.
camps were converted into ghettos. People were not able to go in and out.
I don't know. I
easily.
don't
All the
figure
way
it.
until Oslo Agreement. After Oslo Agreement, the people managed to take down these walls because most of these refugee camps became under Palestinian control. But some of them are still under Israeli military control. These bullet
School
holes
gate.
are varying in size. That means they were not shot with one gun. They were not shot in
Okay.
one time.
So these.
It means it's something that is
This is a school
happening.
inside here.
Not
A
something that
UN
happened.
school.
It happens. Okay? And that's why in the refugee camp,
And there's
if
the
you come here
Why
so often, you can easily recognize new
would
bullets in
bullets
the wall.
ever be shot
Which what happens with me because
towards
I
a
come so many
school
times
gate?
and I explain about that
Hello?
issue. So I usually, every couple of times, every like 2-3 weeks, I recognize 1 or 2 bullet holes. New bullet holes. First of all, the graffiti on the wall is basically very rapidly changing because a lot of people come and paint all the time. Besides that, most of the people who are painting are not Palestinians, are foreigners. Israelis do not come and paint on this side at all. Therefore, that's why you don't see like an Israeli flag across. So they would go into the refugee camps.
Okay.
Okay, guys?
So he's pointing out bullet holes, okay, in these walls. Okay, and over also, I don't know if you can see them, on those walls up there. And he's saying they come from guns that are like, I don't know, 1,000 meters away, where you saw them. And why are they shooting at people? I don't know. Not let these get to any bad people.
Usually, guys, by the way,
Here, hold, please.
Yes, of course.
because
Hi, I'm Johnny.
You speak good English.
usually whenever there is a demonstration,
Palestinian
Israeli
children
soldiers would be taking
living
pictures
in
of
a
kids.
refugee
Okay, and then
camp.
at night they come.
Most of them are afraid to be photographed, but
That's why a lot of the
but they were willing to.
Why would Israel
Thank you so much.
take pictures of this?
English?
no,
Oh, I mean, like Israeli
Little
soldiers
bit.
take pictures of the kids.
because it's improved.
Very
They have to
special.
include stones or something.
This is the best part.
And that's
Best
why
part of my
basically
day
recognize them.
is meeting you. The best part of my day was to meet them.
كنت مبسوط كثير انه شافك. Internationally speaking, the campaign is very strong. Locally, it's very tired, very hard.
This is like boycott
We're tied up to Israel.
Israeli
Everything.
products is what
They
this
can
is.
easily
7-2
take over
means Israel,
anything that
and
we do. They
they're
can
saying
do
it's
everything
unfair
that
for
we
us
did
to
in or
pay
outside Palestine.
buying these products
Israel is
where the
losing
largest
about
percentage of the
$7 billion
proceed goes
every
to
year
military
because we stand
against them.
worldwide. The moment we can increase the losses to match up with the benefits, with the advantages they're making, we can maybe, just maybe, put pressure on Israel to rethink the occupation. Hopefully, we're going to see that point soon. They thought it's a matter of weeks, maybe months, that they're going to go back. So what they did, they locked their doors, took their keys and left. And left everything behind and tried always to come back, but they never could because of the Jewish militias preventing that at that time. Okay? For until now, people are still holding the original keys, passing them through the generations to remind the new generations of what they have to fight for and what they have lost. Also, about 11 years ago, the committee of the camp wanted to remind the whole world about it, so they built the biggest key in the world, tried to put it in Guinness record. Under the Israeli pressure, they didn't allow the key to be listed as under the excuse this is a political statement, that they didn't want to do that. That's the first thing. You can see there Aboud, which is Abdurrahman, a Palestinian 13 years old kid that was shot and killed by an Israeli sniper from next to the gate up there where we were standing earlier today. Okay? That kid was shot and killed by a sniper with a bullet in the heart while the kid was standing right here. He was standing right here. He was watching other kids throwing stones at the wall. And then the Israeli soldiers didn't think it's a violent enough place and action. That's why they started shooting. This kid was shot and killed by a bullet in the heart while he was wearing his school uniform. The school uniform shows the age. It's a blue uniform, maximum 6th grade. This kid was 13 years old kid. He was shot and killed while watching. The Israeli said, sorry, it was a mistake. We didn't mean to kill this kid, we meant to kill that kid. Another kid that is standing next to him without a uniform, he looked a little bit older, and he was 1 year older only. He was 14. They accused the other kid of establishing that organization, or that 5 kids throwing stone demonstration. And looking at this, we're looking at a very big lie for a few different reasons. First of all, shooting at crowds, especially kids crowds, is never a mistake. It's always intentional. Shooting with a sniper at kids is also never a mistake. It wasn't a random bullet. A bullet in the heart is never a mistake. It's a sniper shot.
Yeah.
Besides all of that, 2 other kids were shot in the same day. They were lucky they didn't die. Okay? That happened right in front of the UN office. That picture there, you could see how many times it has hit. This is the second picture to be put there. First one was destroyed by Israeli bullets. Second one also was destroyed several times, and you can see a live bullet that went through and blasted in the door of the center. That's the second thing we see here. The third thing is this list. This is a list of people who got shot and killed in the refugee camp. More than that, you can see this list here. This list here is half of the names of the Palestinian kids who were killed in Gaza Strip in 50 days. 2014. In 2014, Israel killed over 2,250 people within 50 days. Over 70% of them were Palestinian civilians. 570 kids, 267 women, 128 old people. On the other hand, about 73 Israelis got killed. 67 of them, according to Israeli numbers, are Israeli soldiers battling in Gaza. And 6 of them were Israeli civilians. 1,500 Israelis got injured. Most of them were Israeli soldiers battling in Gaza. And on the other side, 11 to 13,000 Palestinians got injured. Most of them were Palestinian civilians. More than 40,000 houses got either partially or completely destroyed. Until today, less than 20% of these houses were rebuilt, because Israel is denying the Palestinians the right to rebuild their houses.
Where were they shot from? Where were they shot from? A distance?
Up there, you see that blue gate? You see that tower? That's
Yeah.
where Israelis are, Israeli soldiers.
Oh, I see that tower.
It's
yeah.
only 30 seconds by an Israeli military vehicle to be from there to get into the refugee camp. 30 seconds. That gate up there, the blue gate, was made specially to raid into the camp anytime they want. Guys, just a very small idea about the refugee camps in Palestine. As I told you, there are 3 refugee camps in Bethlehem. The refugee camp, the one we went through, is built on a land of about 0.06 square kilometer. with 5,450 people living in it. The biggest refugee camp in Bethlehem is the Haisha refugee camp. It has about 16,000 people living in it on an area of about 0.25 square kilometer. The biggest refugee camp in Palestine is Jabalia refugee camp. It's a camp that was built on an area of about 1.4 square kilometer with more than 112,000 people living in it. We're talking about somewhere around 61 refugee camps. We're talking about more than 6 million Palestinian refugees officially registered, more than 8 million, including the non-registered refugees.